I'm on Ken's show. He's taping, and I'm on our High Canada magazine.
Awesome.
Live community feed where we've got lots of great people who've already joined. We're chatting about the industry. Jen Burns.
Truro Cannabis.
Truro Cannabis.
Yes.
Nice to meet you. I'm Cy Williams.
Thank you.
I own High Canada magazine.
Awesome.
Been around a long time. We love talking to people in the cannabis space. What do you got going on, and what do you think of the Grow Up Conference?
Well, this is our first time at the Grow Up Conference, so we are based in Truro, Nova Scotia, which is where the name Truro Cannabis comes from.
I love Nova Scotia. My dad's from Stellarton.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's not too far from where we are. Awesome. So I'm born and raised in Nova Scotia as well. We are a privately owned company, owned by Nova Scotians. We have all the Nova Scotians that work for us. So both of our facilities are located in Truro, Nova Scotia.
Okay.
So we have two facilities.
Okay.
We have our standard cultivation facility, which is 45,000 square feet. That's our main facility. And then we have a micro facility that is 8,000 square feet as well. And they're both located in Truro. So we do all our cultivation there. We do all of our processing there. We do our pre-rolls. We make our own bubble hash. And we do everything in-house in Truro.
Okay. We've been hearing about Truro for some time. I believe we even interviewed some people from Truro at LIFT last year.
Yes.
Truro is set up here at the Grow Up Conference.
We are, booth 105.
How has the experience been for you so far? What do you think?
It's been fantastic, actually. It's one of the better shows that I've been to, certainly, from the perspective of getting to talk to retailers and bud tenders, having designated days to do that.
What did you think of yesterday's
speed networking session? Yeah, speed. I call it speed dating all day too.
So there were like
awesome.
100. I think there were 215 retailers.
Yes.
And
it was like a round robin type situation.
It was great. It was
really
like
cool.
speed dating.
Really
I watched people get really nervous. And
not me. I loved it.
But other people were like yourself were really getting into it. How many people did you speak to during the course of the speed networking event?
I did one session, so there's two sessions available. I did the afternoon session, and I probably spoke to 50 people in 5-minute increments with a minute in between. But there was usually two people each at the table, and some more, some three. And there's 24 stations basically. I don't know if I got to all 24, but it was awesome. It really, really was.
And I bet you've been doing constant, non-stop follow-up with all of those people that you met. You only had that 5 minutes.
Exactly.
That's a great starting point, but the Grow Up Conference in itself, with all of its networking areas and things going on, they plant the seeds, and then I've seen so many people following up on those discussions.
For sure.
I know some of the brands, the independent brands, are really excited about all the orders they've been taking, which is pretty exciting too.
Absolutely, and for us being located in Nova Scotia, we don't get a lot of opportunities to be face-to-face with a lot of these retailers and buyers and purchasers for these chains.
Quick question, what provinces is Truro in right now?
We are now in 8 provinces across the country.
Tell me about that.
So we started in July 2020 in Nova Scotia. We were in Ontario by September 2020 as well. Okay. So now we are across the country: Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, Ontario, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Alberta, and BC.
Okay.
This year we hope to enter Newfoundland and also potentially Quebec as well. So a lot of growth in the last 3 years.
Gotta love those Nova Scotians. When they get their eye on expansion and doing something
eye on the prize.
They will not stop.
And one thing I did want to talk about too that I'm really passionate about is the packaging that we use.
Oh, let's talk. I am. Tell me about your packaging.
So that's called a nitro tin container, and it's a fully recyclable aluminum container. It is based off of what some of you would remember as the old tuna cans from legacy days. So the way this design kind of came about for the legal market is it was based off the original tuna can. So Tuna Kush was originally put in this can and sealed, and so we kind of took that story and made it better, basically. So it is a fully 100% recyclable product. All of the plastic components are recyclable as well. So there is an Organosol food grade lining on the inside of that can, which is awesome. So when the buds are in the can, they don't stick to the side of the packaging like they will in some other forms, like plastics, and certainly Mylar bags can be really tricky for cannabis too, because not only do the buds move around while they're in transport, they're going to move around anyway when they're getting stored on your shelves, so they're going to move in the packaging. So we wanted to make sure that if they are going to be, because cannabis was not meant to go in a supply chain. Let's be 100% honest. That's not what it was designed for. So, you know, if we're a craft grower, we do 100% craft practices. So for us, if we're going to put a product out there into the market, it better look exactly the way as it came out of our facility, as how we look at it. So what I love about this packaging, so the buds are hand weighed and they're placed in the container by hand with the Organosol food grade to prevent any leaching from happening. And that little gasket pops in and out too, so that you can pop that right back in the lid. And the reason it comes out is because technically they're two different number of recyclable plastics. So when they go to the recyclable sorting facility, they go in separate bins. But it is all 100% recyclable. So crack that open. So that's a hermetic seal. And when you crack that,
oh, you hear that?
And you pull it back, you're gonna get a terp blast. And I'll tell you how you get this terp blast.
Ooh.
Before that hermetic seal goes on the can, we purge that can with liquid nitrogen.
And it's
and
gone.
that's a really important aspect of the process because liquid nitrogen is heavier than oxygen. So what that does is it penetrates through the buds, the liquid nitrogen purge. It hits the bottom of the can and it flushes all the oxygen out of that can. So the buds are living in this very, very low 1 to 2% level oxygen environment where the buds are not going to degrade and dry out like they would in other forms of packaging, which is great. So cannabinoid profile is maintained, the terpene profile is maintained. And the terp blast is cool because when you do crack that can open, as the nitrogen rushes out, oxygen flows in, and that just natural chemical reaction gives you that awesome aroma of whatever is in that can. So then once the can is open, broken the seal, now you've got this awesome plastic lid that's totally child resistant as well. The little gasket can go on first, followed by the lid, or you can push it into the lid and then put it on all at once. But what that does is it helps keep the product fresh after you've broken that original seal, and then liquid nitrogen has escaped. The other thing it does too is it actually adds another like additional barrier between the lid and the can. So it really prevents odor from coming out of the can even after that original seal is gone as well. So
don't miss that terp blast at the beginning.
Oh, it's awesome. It really, and it's cool because it really truly is just the oxygen rushing in as the nitrogen flows out. So, oh, I see Sherry Ann's on.
Hi,
Hey, Sherry Ann. Big fan.
Big fan too. Sherry Ann has more high Canada teas than anyone else in the known universe.
We are really big fans of Sherry Ann.
Yeah,
So I met Sherry Ann at Lift Toronto originally, I think 2020.
I think I met her around the same time.
Yeah.
What an amazing voice for the cannabis industry.
Amazing person.
For RSO and proper usage of RSO.
Absolutely,
and,
responsible consumption.
And really like challenging quality.
Absolutely.
And, you know, shout out to Sherry for sure.
Definitely.
So, what else can we look forward from
Truro? So we do a couple of really great SKUs. We only grow a certain number of strains, so we do them really, really, really well. We only do one sativa currently, and it's amazing. It's mac and cheese.
I'd like to try that.
It's available here in Alberta in a 3.5 gram. And it is our #1 selling single pre-roll as well here, so you can buy a 0.5 gram pre-roll to try it. Highly recommend it.
I will do that.
It's a beautiful sativa-leaning hybrid of mac and alien cheese.
Oh, that's
And you've got some beautiful UK cheese in there as well, but I do find it leans a bit more towards the mac side. So it's not like a super overpowering cheese profile. There's a little bit more, I find, citrus in there, more mac, but it's definitely a cheese strain. Really uplifting.
I like
really
the cheese
lovely.
strain. There's lots
absolutely.
of great macs out there, especially out in British Columbia, but not a lot of cheese.
No, and we picked this particular mac crossed with the alien cheese. We really love the phenos that we chose for this particular genetic. So it took us a long time to decide which sativa we were actually going to put into the market because we can only do so many, because we do grow everything in Truro in those facilities.
Okay.
So we don't procure, we don't outsource any of our grow, we do it all. So mac and cheese being our #1 sativa. Then we have an amazing new indica that just came out about a couple months ago, depending on the market. Available here in Alberta in a 3.5 gram and a 3 times 0.5 gram pre-roll is our Titanimal.
Oh, Titanimal.
It is awesome. It's animal cookies crossed with platinum Cushmans. Very, very, very potent indica dominant hybrid. I believe the batch I have here is around 34-35%. The Crazy Labs tested it close to 40. Like, it is unbelievable. Totally 100% craft flower too. So we hang dry everything. We hand trim. We slow cure 21 to 28 days depending on the strain.
That's what I like to hear. You know, not everybody's doing a great job on the cure.
No, and we actually built in our facility, our main facility, a custom built humidor to do this in. So we take it very, very seriously. And we actually have one of the coolest hang drying rooms I've ever seen as well. So we do old school string hang drying. And it's
I don't
amazing.
know about you folks out there, but I now want to tour Truro.
We would love for you to come tour Truro.
What do you think about bringing the Grow Up Conference to Halifax?
Gosh, I would love for us to have any sort of event on the East Coast.
We're really talking about
Yeah.
it. Like it took us a while to get to Alberta, and we've been Nova Scotia. It was such a vibrant, thriving community. We think the Grow Up Conference would do very well in a place
I agree, and I know that the team at the NSLC, who oversees the cannabis space, because it's all government-run stores in Nova Scotia, there's currently 45 stores. When I started, so I was head of sales for Atlantic Canada initially, there was only 20 stores. So in the last 3 years, up to 45 now and still growing. They take the industry very seriously. They're very passionate about it, even from being a government-run board. So I think of all of them, they would be ones that, knowing that category management team, that would want to work with you to bring an event like that.
And there are a ton of ancillary brands out there as well.
Well, and I'd be happy to be a voice for the event too. Now that I've been here and done it, I have a very good relationship with them, and I can say, look, this actually works. And the way that they did the sampling was phenomenal. Because at the end of the day, we have these events, but if someone can't actually try our product, it's really hard for anyone to purchase it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And we're so saturated. There's so many different SKUs right now. For me, and it's amazing to be able to get this B2B activity where we can get the bud tenders and retailers to really try our product. To me, that's everything. And it was done very well.
Do you hear that? That is they're announcing the winners of the Canadian Cannabis Championship, probably the
really exciting.
Concentrate division. Well, listen, viewers, let us know. Should we, the Grow Up Conference, come to Halifax?
Yes.
I want to hear you say a resounding yes. I will make sure that I convey your wishes to the advisory board, and we get a
I'll write a reference letter
out there as soon as possible. You know, Grow Up's been expanding, and I personally am itching to do East Coast this year.
We need it. We need a good event on the East Coast, and I feel like, you know, they've really hit their stride with this show, especially the way that the samples were tracked from a regulatory perspective, which is my background as well. It was very well done. Okay. So I think that it's a very positive thing for more of these shows going forward. It's a good example of how you can do it well. So I think it was really well done. We are really active on social media at Truro as well. So feel free to give us a follow on Instagram, Truro Canna LP. And I'm Jen, head of marketing and sales. It was awesome to talk to you guys. If you ever have any questions, please feel free to reach out.
Jen, thank you for jumping on. I'm pirating this show. Thank you for helping me pirate.
You're welcome. Absolutely.
It's been a lot of fun.
It was great to meet you.
Go follow Truro.
Thank you.
And enjoy the rest of the group.
You as well. It's been fabulous. Thank you very much. Thanks, everybody. Take care. See ya.
Wasn't that awesome? You know, I love just sitting here and getting to meet new people and talk about great things going on in the cannabis industry. Although, you know, Ken's been gone for a little while now, and I know how these things go. I bet you he stepped outside to see some people, probably got caught in a circle, and then a fascinating conversation.